Hello guys, welcome back again to my channel. So the former Minister of Women Affairs was asked a question in an interview about Tinubu's government. First of all, she said that she will never stop exposing Tinubu's government until her last breath. And then she was asked some questions about Tinubu government, and this is what she has to say. And I think I love how she explained this. She finished this government because I believe she works as a minister, so she understands how or what is going on in the system of this current administration. So I'd like you guys to just watch that video and hear a lot of things she said about this current administration of Tinubu. And don't forget to subscribe if you're new here to my channel. I like my videos. Like I said, this government is happy inflicting pains on the citizens, because how can Tinubu himself be laughing at a friend that was once driving a Rolls Royce and now driving a Honda Accord because of fuel price, and then he was laughing and happy about that? That's to tell you the level where we are in our country called Nigeria, because our government are intentionally inflicting pains on the people, and then they say we should learn how to manage, but them cannot manage. Then I will not say more. Just watch the video and let me know what you think about the video in the comment section. Watch the video, guys.
Let's talk about what is going on in the country. A couple of things, because I'm going to come back to a few things, but I want to marry a couple of the issues so we can cover as many things as possible. I know you're very passionate about women. I know you're very passionate about children, and that's been clearly seen. If you were to look at the Nigerian state as it is under the leadership of President Bola Tinubu as the minister, as you served under him as a minister, what would you say is your view of the situation of the country?
Okay, from the little knowledge of things that I know, I have never seen any positive move as I'm seeing now. Listen, remember I was sacked. I'm not saying it to impress anybody. I'm just telling you because I've been very passionate about how things should move in the country. And I have never seen anything as positive as I am seeing right now. Because in all this while, we've been living on illusions. That is my own belief. We've been living on illusions. We've been living in a house without foundation. But as it is as if we are now digging down to fortify a very solid foundation, then grow up out of it and build it up. That is the way I see it, sincerely. That's what I'm telling you. So now, in as much as there is suffering, it's just for a matter of time. By the time that foundation comes up, it will permanently stabilize things. So I still tell Nigerians to hold on as I see them holding on. That foundation is coming up. And I'm watching, I'm following up myself. And you know me, I'm a very blunt person. I don't fear anybody, I only respect people. If I see anything, I say it as I feel. That is the way it is. That's why they say you're passionate, you're passionate. I just say things as they are. We have hope, seriously, because gradually, things will start changing. That is my own view of what I'm saying.
So are you saying, so that we understand you properly, are you saying that the president is on the right path? Because when he had the media chat, some very emphatic questions were asked, and he was very bold in his response, even when there were pushback as so, shouldn't he have done it differently? He said, no, there's no other way I could have done it. So are you saying that the president is on the right path, but people are really, because the Nigerians are really suffering, and it's almost really getting quite difficult to handle for a lot of people?
Yes, if I talk now, they'll say maybe she's saying it to impress.
No, you're free to talk. You're no longer a minister, so you're free to talk.
Exactly. Exactly, but let me tell you
give your view as a citizen.
Something I like about that, our president, you know, his doggedness in doing things. He does things he feels that is right, whether you feel anyhow on it or not. That is what we need right now. Somebody who will stand firmly and follow up a procedure, a policy that will lead us to a better life. That's what we need. So I think he's on the right path. That's what I would have done if I should have been the president, to tell you the truth.
You know, why we always, the reason why we ask these questions, and because we have references. For instance, in Ghana, where the election happened, and this has nothing to do with, okay, maybe you can posit it that way. Akufo-Addo is the president that is leaving. He served for 8 years, beating John Mahama, who has now returned. And some of the reforms and the policies were brought by the government came in, and people were very uncomfortable and kept saying, look, this thing is hurting. He did his best in terms of inflation level to bring it down to a certain point. Now, his inflation got to 50% in Ghana, but he was able to bring it down to 20%. But his party lost woefully in the last election. So I'm asking that question because there is the wisdom of the leader and the expectation of the people. So juxtapose that wisdom of the leader and the expectation of the people. Where do we have a meeting point?
See, if for any reason Mr. President decides to force the inflation down, it is still not going to help us. It will backfire after a while. It's just like going back to to the pit where we're just trying to come out from. Because if it is not natural, it will never be permanent. So I prefer it going gradually. Let us all relax. Let's take that hit. And gradually we will get out of it. I support it going gradually out of that pit. Only that others, all of us must have to help. It's not only the president that will do everything. People that negotiate our loan should look into what they are doing. People that are donors, handling the donors' monies, that are writing the programs for donors' monies. Those are part of people that are our problems. Because you can't write things that will not favor your country simply because you're selfish. You just write things like I keep saying on fistula disease. How can you make money be brought to treat fistula patients and the Nigerian is writing on that money that they let the money be used to train fistula doctors? Where is it done? These are people that are our problems. Until we start prosecuting such people, you write anything like that that will not favor the country out of selfishness, that person should be arrested and prosecuted. That way they will learn their lessons, because it's not like they don't have the brain. The brains are there. It's just that they think about themselves rather than thinking about their country. So if some of these people should start being looked into, why are they doing that? Is it to favor them or not? You will find out that by the time we correct some of these things, this inflation will drop by itself. Because when monies are going to the wrong hands and they're not properly utilized and people continue suffering, no matter what president does, he will only succeed 10%. So these are the areas I think we Nigerians should look into. All of us. It's not just about president. We ourselves should even be aware. But I thank God Nigerians are actually looking up. That following things, that are moving well the way I like, looking out for one another. I like that. But people that are negotiating your loan, they have an office that negotiates loan. Why are some of those loans negotiated the way they did? Then these people that are planning programs, like I use Fistula for example, why do they go mainly for things that will not make an impact in that particular program? Rather, they do it in a way that it is something that are not tangible, something you can't really look at it and say the money was used for this particular thing. So what happens to those monies? I will continue asking this question until I see the issues being addressed.
All right,
that's the point.
Madam, we're going to go on a quick. We're going to go on a quick break. Yes, we're going to go on a quick break. When we come back, you see, I asked you a question about that loan, and you didn't want to answer, but you've gone back there again. So I may be tempted to ask you more questions as long as that loan is concerned.
I didn't go back there.
No, you went back there. Because you're talking about the loan.
Negotiators.
Yes, it's still about the loan. It's still about the loan. Whether it's still loan.
Generally.
Okay.
Generally.
You will give us the insight. But when we come back, we're also going to look at some of the challenges of the ministry that you have left now, and some of the things you learned as far as that ministry is concerned, what you can pass on to your successor. But we'll go on this quick break. When we come back, the former minister of Women Affairs, she said, I should say the sacked minister. So let me stay with that word. The sacked minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy on here. She's still with us. Join us again. All right, let's begin to wrap up that conversation with Uju Kennedy on here, the former minister of Women Affairs. She says, I should stick to what happened, that she was sacked. So one of the 5 ministers that were sacked by President Bola Tinubu in the recent cabinet shake-up. Madam, thanks for staying with us. But let's get to some of the challenges you faced as a minister in that ministry in terms of funds. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think we understand there were some kind of support to the ministry just before the tail end of your exit. And maybe you can walk us through what the challenges are and what happened with some of those funds, if you will.
The programs are initiated in the ministry, like the mobile courts going to rescue these small girls that are hawking on the streets. When I mean 5-year-old, to 12-year-old, hawking on the street, rescue them, take them back to school. I did not have money for that because it wasn't part of what they budgeted for. So when I called on Nigerians, I was so surprised on the 15th of October. A lot of them, including Chifato Eze, they all gathered at the villa and they donated money to this effect. They were very happy to support it. Even Tony Elumelu and co, they donated a lot of money. Unfortunately, not up to 2 weeks after the donation, as we were trying to take off, starting from decongesting the courts, the prisons, and going to the streets, I was sacked. So when that happened, remember, they donated that money to me to help these poor people, the vulnerables, as a minister. So there was no way I could have continued using that money. I didn't even use it at all. So what happened was I asked the secretary that was in charge, that is to write to the bank to do reversal of the funds. So everybody that donated money, actually I gave 100 million. So many other people, 30 million, 20 million, both Yoruba, Hausa, and Igbo. But mainly Igbos, a lot of them came. All their monies were paid back to them. I didn't touch a penny. I didn't use any because I was to use it in my capacity as a minister. As far as I was not a minister anymore, the best thing was to return their money. And remember, it's a legal kind of thing. So I am a lawyer, and which was why I would have been able to handle that aspect perfectly well. So I returned their money, but I thank them. I appreciate Nigerians. They were happy. As I speak to you, they came together. A particular guy is opening an app that we are going to launch in a few days or early January, app that they want to be sponsoring for me to continue what I was doing as a minister, to continue helping people, to continue the issue of rescuing those girls, sending them back to school. So the app will be launched soon. So you can imagine the kind of support Nigerians are giving me, and equally ready to give out to those vulnerable people. They really want to gather and make sure that where they put money, it will be properly utilized. So I thank them. I had challenges, but I was managing myself to be able to do it. And I was putting in a lot of my money. As I speak to you, a lot of my money is stuck there. But my sister there is trying her best, and they're gradually paying me back. The ministry is gradually paying me back. And I use my money because without that, I wouldn't have been able to achieve anything. That opportunity given to me is not an easy or simple thing to get easily like that. So when I got it, I thank God I was given that chance to showcase who I am and show my passion and touch the few lives I was able to touch. I thank God for that. So I managed, and if I had not put in my money, like the keke, like I told you, it was my money that I bought the keke with. It's not. It doesn't belong to the ministry.
So, just a moment. So, two things I want to find out. Is it that the ministry is so underfunded that you needed to use your personal money? Because this is the Ministry of Women Affairs in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Nobody expects you to use your personal fund. The government should be able to fund. Is it that the ministry is grossly underfunded? That's one question. Question number two is, these donations that were sent to you because of some of this initiative that you now had to return this money, how much was it? If you can remember.
Like I said, Chief Arthur donated 100 million. A few other people, 30 million, 5. The list of the money I got there was 2 million. And if every other person that had gotten everything, I got close to 280 million.
Yeah, so I was asking
280 million.
Okay, about 280 million. So I needed to establish that. The first question I asked was how insufficiently funded? Maybe let me put it differently. Is it that the ministry is underfunded that you had to use your money? I think that was my question.
Not only that it was underfunded. Most times that the last budget, what they like to put mainly is just programs. And I didn't like that because the programs were not making any impact. I was looking at this at wastages. So the programs I brought that could make impact on the people, they will tell you it was not on the budget. So if it is not there, and I don't want anybody that will, hook me into something and I will start having, probably I wouldn't be here by now. The EFCC and ICPC would have been carrying me up and down. I thank God for that. So I had to find a way to raise money. Like the mobile court, they will tell you it is not there. But the mobile court would have helped the ministry to protect the rights and the rights of these little children and the women, that GBV and all that. So it was something very important. There was no money for it. The KK and so the empowerment, they don't even put anything there for empowerment, which is difficult for any minister to work. So how do you at least prove to the person that has given you job that you could do that job? If you're just sitting down there as a stick, they do programs and whatever it is, they will now tell you, okay, this is for you, or this is not for you, or this is where you can go, or this is where you cannot go. So that was why I focused on that breaking of that brick wall to start focusing the ministry to empowerment and support and protection of rights.
So let's now talk solutions. So it appears from the way you sound and perhaps what you experienced in the short time where you are the helm of affairs, it looks like funding of the Ministry of Women Affairs seemed like some sort of a tokenism, if you will. It's not like there's an aggressive pursuit of trying to better the life of women and children where your ministry sits. Because I guess that's the idea of this ministry, to give a laser focus on women and children, because they are a critical part of the society. In fact, they are the most vulnerable and they have to be protected at all costs. So if you were to propose some level of reform in the Ministry of Women Affairs so that it's more impactful, money's channels, so that it reaches the people down the line, what will it be?
What it will be is to look in and change the narratives there. Most of the things, from my own understanding, I may be wrong, but this is my own understanding. That ministry is supposed to focus more on making impact on women and children, protecting their rights and securing them. That was what I felt. And if there is a problem, like I used to do, couples, if they're having issues, they write me, I call them on the phone, they come, I settle them. Sometimes it's only like 100,000 that could even make a difference in their lives. So that is where I feel that ministry is meant for legally. That is from my own legal aspect of it.
Okay.
That is the job they are supposed to be doing. But
Okay.
I didn't meet anything like this there. I didn't. What I met was more of programs, advocacies, meetings, travels. That was what I met, which I didn't like.
All right, well, thank you. We must thank you so much, Madam Uju Kennedy Oneye, former Minister of Women Affairs. Thank you so much for your time. And just in 10 seconds, if President Tinubu calls you back, would you like to work again with him? Would you like to work with him again?
I will not answer that. I have been sacked. That's where I stay. That's where I remain. I am a sacked minister. I don't want to think about anything so that I can be able to focus my life.
Now, I will respect that. Thank you for coming on the program. Thank you so much.
I believe it's a clear evidence or a clear example that, or I say a proof or a vindication that this government don't like the truth, because when they came into office, they sacked five ministers that always speak the truth, and then they now put in people that always them not say the word lie, but at least you know what I'm saying. You don't like the truth. It's very simple like that. This woman actually always say the truth and also defend people that cannot defend themselves. But here we are, Nigeria, not happened to them. They are sacked by Tinubu government because they always say the truth. Like I said, Tinubu government don't like the truth. The left for the Tinubu was arrested because he said the truth. Deji, I've been threatened to be kidnapped or be pied because he's always say the truth. Ikenga, Ugochinyere, I've been threatened to be pied because he always say the truth. So they try to clear anybody that always speak the truth to be able to always control their evil act, because it's very, very sure that this government are looting our public funds, because every year they have a budget of new vehicles to every single politicians, brand new vehicles every year. So that means a senator or a president in Nigeria only drives a car 1 year and then he changes another one. But later they say we don't have money in Nigeria. In a country flowing in milk and honey, we have oils, we have gold, we are mining every day. But where is the money going to the private pocket of these politicians called our leaders? So these people are always persons that always come out to say the truth and tell us things we need to hear and this we need to know about what is going on in the country, because this one was the former minister, so she knows the inner calculus of the government and how the government is operating. And I believe we heard everything she said in that video. So that's what I've been to you guys to just watch and to see the level where we are in our country, that we are so much gone. And I mean, we are gone. We are goners in this country called Nigeria, where they don't even care about our well-being. They don't care if you're surviving or not. They don't care if we are living good. They don't care about anything. All they care about is their personal interest, and it's not even a new thing that these governments are for their own personal interest. Take a look at what's happening in Imo State, where Hope Uzodinma actually is working for the government and not for the people. You can change the level of insecurity happening in the Imo State, and the government in Imo State have not done anything or said about it. And yet again, they agree with the government that they will bring down the camp to Imo State, camp where they will be training Boko Haram members, and then the governor agreed to that. That's because he's working with them. He doesn't care the safety of his people because his family is secured and himself is secured, so he doesn't care about others. That kind of leaders we have here in Nigeria. So every comment section, I'll be with you guys shortly. Don't forget to subscribe and watch my videos on my next time. See you guys.